This is the Ourvoice 360 podcast, our perspectives, our way, keeping you in the know while you're on the go. This podcast was created with you in mind. On Ourvoice 360, we'll give you inspiration, sports, business and leadership tips, Black history, and entertainment. This is a show built from our perspectives. So if you're ready to be entertained, inspired, laugh a little, be informed, and enlightened, tune in now to Ourvoice 360. Let's go! Hey guys, and welcome back to our show, Ourvoice 360, our perspectives, our ways. I'm your man, Chad Bumgarner, 1/3 of the trio. I have with me my man, Pete Hunt.
What's good, family?
And my man, Mike Brown, the Don Dada.
What's happening?
And with that, let's go ahead and get into it.
Today's podcast is brought to you by Elect Graphics and Photography. Allow your visions to become reality. And also CDB Consulting. Great leadership equals great results. And if you would like to become a sponsor of Ourvoice 360, shoot us an email at ourvoice360@gmail.com and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. Hey, Mike, what's good with that inspiration, my brother?
Oh, bro, I got one for y'all today now.
Come on with it.
It doesn't matter what book you look into, whatever book you choose to read, whether it be the Bible, the Quran, whatever, self-help books. The one constant in all of them is speaking things into existence.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, even in the good book, it says to speak things that aren't as though they were. I'm just paraphrasing that.
Right.
So the thing I want to hit y'all with today is, if you look around your life and you don't like what you see, change what you say.
Woo.
Okay.
And I can use myself as an example. When I first opened my company, I used to tell people I owned a small business. Well, I did. But I kept saying small business. So mentally, my mind was at a small business state. When I stopped using the word small and simply said I own a company, I own a business, things started to happen. I grew. I started acquiring more things that I could do with my company. I went to doing t-shirts. I went to doing vinyl. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you want to change what you say, man.
You know what? That is so powerful, because even in the, like I said, even in the good book, when the Lord spake things, it happened. Mm-hmm. Spoke things, it happened. When he said, let there be light, there was light. And then also in the good book, it says, greater things that you will be able to do in my name. So basically, he's telling us that we'll be able to do greater things in his name. Mm-hmm. So that the words speaking is very powerful. I showed my wife a project that this guy did. It was on social media. And you guys may have seen it. It was 2 or 3 mason jars or bags or something full of rice, right? One bag he labeled good, one bag he labeled bad, right? So every day with the bad rice or whatever it was, he would say negative things to it. And in the good bag, obviously, he would say good things to it. And over time, you would start to see the bag that was labeled bad, it started rotting. But the one that said good kept prospering. Same thing with the plants. People don't understand words are powerful. Mm-hmm. You know that phrase, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me? Mm-hmm. That is a lie.
Oh, yeah.
It is a complete lie. Words are powerful. Words are strong. Sometimes they hurt just as bad as a knife or a gunshot wound. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And we need to be careful about what we say and how we say it. We should really craft our words, because words have meaning and words are powerful. So I agree with you on that, Mike. That's a powerful inspiration piece.
Yeah, that's big, man, because as you said, Mike, if you want something to happen, you have to speak it.
That's right.
You have to speak it into existence. That excuse me, that the things that you want, especially from a, like, say, a career aspect or business aspect, those things, we speak those things first. We may not say it verbally, we may not say it out loud, but mentally, we speak it to ourselves mentally. You know what I'm saying? That, I want my company to be X, Y, and Z, or I want to go to college and graduate college, or whatever the case may be. Those words always have to come, whether either it's spoken out verbally or mentally to ourselves, that these things have to happen. And if you don't say or think those things, it's not going to happen, because you're not going to be serious about attaining those goals or whatever they may be.
That's right.
Yeah, it's at first, Pete, when you were talking about what you were just saying about not only speaking those words but thinking, I was like, but as you continue to talk, it made sense to me, because like the Bible also says, what comes out of your mouth comes from your heart. So if you're saying these things, how you want your future to be or how you want your life to be, you got to feel that in your heart too. And mentally, you have to see it. You know how when you playing a sport and right before the game, there's some coaches that are really good coaches. They tell you, I want you to take time before the game and get somewhere quiet. I want you to visualize. And that's key. I want you to visualize yourself making that catch. I want you to visualize yourself throwing that pass. I want you to visualize yourself making that interception or making that tackle.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because visualization is powerful. When you can, you can see it, then it's definitely obtainable.
Mm-hmm.
So, not only do you have to say it and speak it, but you got to feel it, and you got to believe it too. Because if you don't believe it, nobody else is going to believe it.
Who else is going to believe it?
You can't sell yourself. You for doggone sure can't sell nobody else.
Mm-hmm. And I sell myself on a regular.
Yeah, we know.
Take it how you want to.
Well, Mike, we appreciate that inspiration, brother. Always insightful and uplifting.
Oh yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that the viewers and the listeners are gonna appreciate that as well. But now we're moving on into the sports brief with my man Pete Hunt. Pete, what's up in them dry streets of the sports, man?
Ooh, and they are dry, fellas. But I'm always gonna pull something out of the hat. Well, it's a couple things I want to talk about today. I'm not sure if you fellas know Elena Deladon, who is she plays in the WNBA. She's she's probably the best player in the WNBA right now. She plays for the Washington Mystics. She's actually the reigning MVP and reigning WNBA champion, Elena Deladon. Well, since the coronavirus has, pretty much taken over these streets, sports are trying to come back, and the WNBA is trying to come back as well. Down in Orlando with the NBA guys, not in the same facilities, but they're down in Orlando. Well, Elena Deladon has Lyme disease, and her doctors have told her, since you're immune compromised,
right?
They're really like, it may not be safe for you to go down to Orlando and play, but she really wants to play. So during this process of the WNBA, doing their things around the coronavirus, they had a list of things that you could opt out of playing the season and still get paid.
Mm-hmm.
As far as diseases, and Lyme disease was not on the list. So Deladon wanted to, try to opt out of the season and still get paid. Mm-hmm. But the WNBA said, no, we're not going to do that, because you're not on this list of ailments to be exempt. So it's been a big struggle with that over the past couple of days, with her going on ESPN and really making the WNBA look bad, because, okay, this is your top rated player, your reigning MVP, and you don't have enough empathy for her if she opts out opt out of playing, that you wouldn't pay her. She's your biggest star. She has documentation of her Lyme disease, to the fact that we found out yesterday that she takes 64 pills a day.
Oh my God.
She takes 64 pills a day to just function normally. That's how bad her Lyme disease is.
Is that curable?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay, because
something that's not curable. So not only that, she has 3 herniated discs. She just had shoulder surgery. She played with 3. She just won a WNBA championship with 3 herniated discs and a bad shoulder. And the WNBA is not allowing her to opt out. So, and if she does opt out, she's not going to get paid.
Right, she's not going to get paid.
Exactly. And as of this morning, the Washington Mystics has come out and had a press release saying if she opts out or not, whether she plays or opt out, we're going to pay her. But my my question to you guys are, why would a company as well, it's not really large, but a company of that stature as the WNBA, why would they not have enough empathy to play one of their, if not the star, one of their top 3 stars in their league, if this young lady wants to opt out? Why would you think?
Just like what Wu-Tang said, Cream. I think lose everything around me. It's business. You know what I'm saying? It has nothing to do with empathy, because even though it should, because even as a business, you should have a morale barometer.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you said, I mean, she's won WNBA championship. She's got 3 herniated discs. She's arguably one of the best players, if the best player in the league. Mm-hmm. She's the face of the league. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And you're trying to tell me that you can't come to some kind of compromise? That's kind of cold-hearted on the WNBA. Now, you said the Mystics said they would pay her regardless. Is that right?
Yeah. The Mystics came out this morning and said that their general manager, who's also their head coach, came out and said this morning that they're going to pay her regardless.
Okay, well, that's
cool. Well, but it took her going on SportsCenter. It took her having an op-ed piece in the Players Tribune.
Why did they have to go that far?
Yeah, exactly. Basically, right. To force their hand to say, okay, we're going to pay you regardless of your situation, your Lyme disease not being on our list of ailments or things that you can opt out of and still get paid for.
But see, that just shows you that they're looking at it as business.
Right.
They're not looking at her as a human being. They're looking at her as an asset on
a commodity
accounting budget itemized list. She is an asset. She's not a person.
Now.
And it took, I'm sorry, Mike, and it took her blasting them for them to say, okay, we need to. Basically, what Washington did was damage control.
Yeah.
That's basically what they did. Because if she had come to them originally, like she did, and explained what was going on, they should have sat down with her and be like, hey, we understand your problem. Now, but according to the rules, we can't. But as far as Washington as a team, and not the NBA, because they're 2 different entities, the NBA and then Washington.
Yeah, the WNBA, yeah.
Right, yeah. Right. So we, the team, we'll go ahead and take care of you and do what we need to do. We'll work together. And it could have been squashed. But until, like you said, why did it take her going public on this matter for them to come out? It was damage control. They don't value her as a person. I'm sorry, Mike, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, basically on what you were saying, it's like right now I'm just noticing that a whole lot of people are really starting to see how their employer thinks of them. Right now. Are you just, like you said, a commodity, an asset? Or do they care about your well-being, your health, your other teammates' health? Or is it all about the dollar? You know what I'm saying? And it seems like every week we're hearing something else. Another teammate, another player. You know what I mean?
Or companies.
People are
public. We're gonna have a Juneteenth holiday, and we're gonna do. Man, you could have did that 5 years ago.
People are taking this health crisis and pandemic really serious.
Yeah.
But even though companies are losing money, which they're not, they still have money. You know what I'm saying? But they don't care about any of that. They don't care about your health. And that's what people are seeing right now.
And then this Deladon situation is actually coming off the back of another issue the WNBA is having with the facilities that they're housing these women in. Some of the women are showing some of the places that they're staying down there in Orlando with rats and roaches and
In the project.
Water not running correctly.
What?
And things of this sort. Now, you're supposed to be a top-notch organization, but you house and you're trying to play through this pandemic and trying to make this money, but you're housing your athletes this way. You're not doing that in the NBA. The NBA is they're staying at plush hotels, even though some of those guys don't think they're plush, but that's another story for another day, Rajon Rondo. But yeah, the WNBA, the players are playing in substandard. I mean, living in some substandard housing. I mean, it
goes back to how you value your people. I said once again, it goes back to how you value your people.
Yeah, and I mean, some of the young ladies' videos that were on Instagram and other social media outlets, actual rat traps. They're showing and rat droppings.
Wow,
and it's crazy to me that and this Deladon issue is coming right off, and this came out maybe 2 weeks ago, and now this Deladon issue, Atlanta Deladon issue, is coming right on the back of that. It's not a real good look for the WNBA right now.
No, it isn't.
All right, on to my next story. We have another young high school player choosing the NBA route instead of going to college. Jonathan Kuminga, who is in the 2020 class. He's the 5th ranked player in the 2020 class, but he's just a junior. So next year in the 2021 class, he was the top rated player in the 2021 class. Well, he made his announcement yesterday on what he was going to do. Texas Tech, Duke, Kentucky, Auburn, and the G League. That was his 5 options left. And as of yesterday, he chose the G League to go, and he's following 4 other 2020 prospects: Jalen Green, Isaiah Todd, Deshaun Nix, and Kai Soto. Out of that 2020 class, this year's 2020 class, that's electing not to go to college, but to bypass college and go to the G League, which has revamped his whole status, because the G League is the stepping stone to the NBA.
NBA, right?
So now the G League has revamped, and now they are paying these young high school guys 6-figure salaries to come to the G League and play for their stepping stone into the NBA. And like I said, Jonathan Kuminga, as of yesterday, made that same decision. I'm just going to bypass this college stuff. Actually, he reclassified because, like I just told you, he was a junior. Mm-hmm. So he graduated early from the Patrick School. He graduated early from the Patrick School, reclassified so he could start in the G League this year. So what do you guys feel about these young high school guys either now starting to look at themselves as commodities and say, okay, I can make real money, and bypassing college, or going overseas and playing, making real money, bypassing college? What do you guys think about that transition, especially in the NBA?
Well, before that, what's reclassification?
Reclassification is basically you can graduate early and go a class ahead, or a class ahead, or you reclassify backwards and say, okay, I'm going to reclassify myself. Say I'm a 2020 guy. I can reclassify myself as a 2021 guy, go to a prep school, and then come into a 2021 draft. So you're basically reclassifying either up or back.
Back, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that, Pete. On one end, I mean, because the dynamics are different per athlete. You know what I mean? On one end, yeah, some of these kids come from nothing. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these kids, I'm gonna be so bold as to say, a lot of these kids come from nothing. And I'm pretty sure they have a family member or 2, maybe 3, that may be in need of some kind of financial help, whether it's medically or financially or whatever. And doing this can solve a lot of their problems. On the other hand, if you look at the percentage of young fellas that go to the league and then they come out, whether they have to retire early because of injuries or, you know, it's just their time. How many of them between 3 to 5 years after the league are set up for life?
That's exactly what
you know what I mean. And so with that being said, it's like I kind of don't like it because I want them, like some players, they will go their senior year, graduate, and then go to the draft. I know that doesn't work for everybody. I'm well aware of that. I don't know, Pete. I'm kind of torn with that. I mean, but at the same time, let's flip this. We go to college to get a degree to earn money, right? So if we just leave high school and bypass the college part and go straight to making the money, but now there's some formal training that you get in college that you're not going to get out there as a youngster on the road, starting out, you know, in the D League or overseas. That's gonna be the school of hard knocks, and you're gonna lose quite a bit trying to learn. So, like I said, I know it's different for every situation. I'm not sure, Pete. I don't know which way to waver on this one, because I'm like, I would really like for the kids to get their education because they'll have something to fall back on. You know what I'm saying? They got a degree and they can probably find hopefully, you know, find a decent job as opposed to being a has-been with no degree and no skills, you know, to enter the job force should they need to. I don't know.
All right, go ahead, Mike.
Pretty much, Chad said everything I was gonna say. Just took the words right out my mouth, pretty much. I would have said them, but he cut me off. No, I'm not piggybacking. I don't feel like I'll piggyback Pete. I'm not fooling with you. No, but but I feel kind of me myself because I'm a stickler of education. It's easy to get somebody to do something when you're dangling money in their face and they're not used to seeing it. You know what I'm saying? And then what I think personally, if you're going to pay them 6 figures, why don't you have them meet with a financial advisor to help them manage that money?
Because they don't care.
They don't. You
know, we don't know if they're doing that or not. I'm not sure. They possibly could be doing that because a lot of leagues are doing. Well, I know the NFL are big on getting these young guys in, these rookie guys in, and getting them with, you know, financial coaches and this, that, and third. And I'm sure the NBA is probably doing the same thing.
Okay.
But go ahead, Mike, finish your point because I have something to say after.
I mean, I think I'm one person that plays the devil's advocate a lot. I'm the what if guy, hypothetically speaking. That's me. You know, what if you bypass college? What if something happens? You get hurt. What are you going to fall back on? That's what and I'm speaking as a 48-year-old man. You know what I mean? And we've been through the hurdles, and some of us didn't go to school till late, and you know what I'm saying? And, you know, we went through the factors of life, and then in the end, we figured out what didn't work. Right. So that's what pushed us into what worked. You know what I mean? So, I mean, that's pretty much how I feel about it. But go ahead.
I have a totally different view of that. My thing is go get your money. You have a short time. You have a short time to make as much money as you possibly can, especially because we're talking about athletes. We're not talking about just regular Joes, regular cats that, you know what I'm saying, that graduate high school and walk into college.
Yeah.
I can't tell you the last superstar that graduated with a 4-year degree that plays in the NBA. Tim Duncan, maybe. Superstar.
Right.
I mean, we got guys, the Shane Battier's and those type of dudes that graduated went to Duke for 4 years or went to Wake Forest for 4 years.
But see, most of the stars that are going pro go to school, college that is, for the sake of going pro. They not really trying to see college as a stepping stone.
That is my entire point. That's my point. My point is My point is this. The Zion Williamsons of the world, the Ja Morants of the world. We're going to talk about the young guys that's playing now. Those type of guys, went to class for one semester. Because guess what? I'm going to school for this semester so I can be able to play, so I can qualify to play.
Right.
Excuse me, because I know I'm going to the league. And a lot of these guys, why not? If I'm going to play, why not play for money?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Why waste my time? Look at Zion when he blew his shoe out in the Duke Syracuse. What was it, Duke and Syracuse game? I think it was, or Duke and somebody, whoever they were playing. Yeah, everybody thought his career could possibly be over because he slipped and fell. And guess what? He wouldn't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of because he went to Duke. I mean, unless he had some type of insurance policy, which could have, which possibly he may have some type of insurance policy. You can get hurt in college. Why am I going to get hurt in these days and times? Why am I going to get hurt
broke
in college broke? And then I have no. And then Duke is not, in most cases, those colleges are not going to keep you those other 3 years because again, like I said, I think it was last week's show. Yeah, like I said last week's show, those 4 years are not guaranteed. Those are 1-year contracts.
Mm-hmm.
Those coaches can get rid of you at any time they want to, because you signed a 4-year college scholarship. Don't mean you're gonna be there for 4 years, because they can get rid of you. My thing is this: go get your money, young folk. Go get your money, because, like I said, it's a short shelf life, and then you can go back to college if you want to.
That's true.
You can go back. Exactly. We did, Mike. You did. We were talking about it off air. All 3 of us went to college later and got our degrees. Well after high school.
Well.
Yeah. So those young men can get a college degree. But it's a short window to make that money. And if I'm 17, 18 years old, and I know this league, the G League, which is the stepping stone to the NBA, they're going to pay me 6 figures, and I possibly get a shoe deal, and I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I'm good. And if I choose to go back and get my college degree, so be it.
You're right. That'd be icing on the cake.
Exactly. That's icing on the cake. But like I said, we're talking about 2 different. If this was just a regular kid, graduating high school.
That's why I said so. The dynamics for each one is so different. I see your point though.
Yeah. Get that money now. Get that bread.
That's what I'm saying.
Mad at you.
Yeah, get that bread, because maybe I'm a guy that may not test well on the SAT, but I know in 2020, in the 2020 draft, I'm going to be I'm top 5. I'm a lottery pick. So guess what? Why am I going to school? I'm still going to be I'm still going to be a lottery pick.
Why struggle when I don't have to?
Exactly. Because either way, if I'm not going there for multiple years. I'm a one and done guy. I'm going to class for one semester so I can qualify. After that, I'm not going to see a class. I'm not walking up in another class.
To your point, real quick. Well, not to your point, but to add to your sports brief, Deion Sanders' baby boy, Shador, he finally picked where he was going. He's going to Florida Atlantic University.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He said he wanted to play for a black head coach.
Mm-hmm. And that's fantastic.
And because he was looked at I think Clemson, South Carolina.
Oh yeah, he was a big time recruit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's great. But see, therein lies the difference between football and basketball. Football, you coming out of high school, unless it may be a handful of guys that were probably had the body and the physicality to play in the NFL coming out of high school. Adrian Peterson.
Yeah.
I mean, got very, very small, but because their body was ready. Mentally, they wasn't ready.
Right.
So that's a good thing for the NFL, because you have to go through at least 3 years of college.
Yeah, because you got to get bulked up. You got to learn. A lot of these big colleges have pro systems that the pros use. So not only are you getting bulked up, you're learning the pro system. So it's time to enter the draft. You ready?
Yeah. And see, with the difference,
you've been groomed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The difference with basketball, if you're dominant at the high school level, and if you're that good, 9 times out of 10, that next step to the NBA, you're going to struggle, of course, because bigger, stronger, faster grown men, but you're able to assimilate a little bit better because, physically you're there. Mentally, you're there because, you're not really going to be taking the physical pounding of the NFL. You're not getting hit. You know what I'm saying?
That early in the game, you are learning as fast as you can so you can get in there and contribute.
And especially with this guy, Jonathan Kuminga, this dude is 6'8", and I've seen him play. So this kid is 6'7", 6'8", 240.
Wow.
He's a grown man on the basketball court. He's a grown man. Yeah, he's a grown man. And so he's ready to high school. Jesus. And he's ready to make that leap. Now, mentally, will he get there? Yeah, but as far as physically, and all of these five guys, physically, they're there. Maybe except for Deshaun Nix. Maybe, he's a kind of a tweener guy, but for the most part, these five guys out of the 2020 class that's going to the G League, they ready. They ready to do it. So that's the end of my sports page today. Gentlemen, it's on you. Chad.
What's happening? So thank you, my brother, for that that sports brief. Appreciate that insight. Mm-hmm. And would like to welcome the listeners and viewers to the next segment of our show, which is Chad's Leadership Corner, where you get tips and insight on business and leadership. So let's get into it, shall we? We're going to start with the business aspect. So check it out. Visa, the credit card company, launches a program offering $10,000 grants to Black women business owners. All right.
Wow.
So in an effort to specifically support Black women-owned businesses, Visa is extending their partnership with I Fund Women. And if you guys remember, several weeks ago, I was talking about the PPP and all these, groups that were extending money out to the small companies. So now Visa is partnering with I Fund Women through a new series of grants and educational sources. $10,000 grants will go to Black women in the United States to help them run and grow their businesses, which I think is so dope.
It is.
Through this program, Visa is committed to providing Black women entrepreneurs with access to the capital, coaching, and connections that they're going to need to grow their business during the challenging time, which obviously is the startup time. So the program's criteria, here's a couple of the criteria pieces. Obviously, must be a Black woman-owned business, must be located in the United States. You have to have a minimum annual revenue of $24,000 or more. Must have been in business for 2+ years. Must be a business that has a product or service in the market or in market and generating revenue. Must be a growing business. Must be a consumer product or service. And must have a compelling digital presence and supporting media. The $10,000 is not a random number, says Susan Curry, Visa's global head of merchant sales and acquiring, told Forbes the other day in our interview. She says, for many entrepreneurs, when they look for seed funding or funding to go from proof of concept to launch, the sweet spot is about $10,000, right? The $8,000 to $14,000 range is the amount of capital you need to get an ordinary small business off the ground. One of the reasons so few businesses make it into the venture capital stage is the majority will need about that much capital to get started. We've got to get them the kind of capacity and elasticity they need that works on or works at the scale. That works at the scale that they are trying to move upon. So the deadline to apply for it is July 31st of this year, and you can find more details at ifundwomen, ifundwomen.com/Visa. So that's my business portion today. Visa is teaming up with I Fund Women to help Black women start and grow their businesses. I think this is a really dope concept, man. I think you're gonna see more businesses doing the same thing.
Yeah, that's fantastic, man.
Yeah,
especially in this climate. I think what's going on right now, a lot of businesses are, I don't want to say forced, but a lot of businesses are seeing that, it's time for us to help people of color, Black people in particular. to help them get businesses off the ground. That's one of the good things that's coming out of the situation that we're in now. A lot of businesses are opening up their pocketbooks to help black businesses, not only if you're already a black business, help you succeed further, or if you want to be a black business owner, start up a business. I think that's fantastic.
I think so too, Pete, because a lot of black people have great ideas and concepts and can really be a cornerstone in any market. They just don't have that capital.
Yeah, don't have the capital.
Their counterparts are able to have, if you know what I'm saying.
Right.
It's harder for us for some reason to get the capital we need to get our business, because I really feel like there's a lot of blacks out there with businesses that can really change the landscape of the country, if not the world. But they're just not getting what I like to call that fair shake.
Oh, that's true. I mean, that's proven. That's proven that, you know, when black folk walk into the bank, you know, 9 times out of 10, we're not going to get the loan that somebody else would, because of, and I'm gonna be quite honest with you, but it's because of what we look like.
Right.
Yeah.
But the thing that I like about this program is the fact that not only do you get the funding, it also comes with what they said, the coaching too. Because thing is, you may want to start a business. You may be good at what you do, whatever that business is. Maybe it's arts and crafts or a coffee shop. You're good at making coffee. You know your coffee, but you may not understand how to run the business part. So not only do you get the money, you get the coaching. Somebody that comes in and coach you. Okay, we know you know the coffee part. Well, now we're going to help you with the business part so that you can be successful on both fronts. Now we're going to teach you how to not only run this, but also how to scale. You know what I'm saying? If your business takes off, a lot of small companies struggle on how to scale. How do I advance? How do I get bigger and still be successful? And that's part of the coaching that comes along with that. So I think this is awesome, man. So if there are any sisters out there that have a business, and I would admonish you to go to ifundwomen.com/visa, VISA, and see if you fit any of that criteria that can help you get the money and the coaching, because the coaching is just as important as the money. You can have the money to start the business, but if you don't know how to run it, you're going to be out of business just as quick as you got into business.
True. Wow.
So, okay. So with that being said, we're going to go into the leadership portion of my leadership corner. And today we're talking about lack of vision ensures failure.
Really? Man. Really gonna go with the eye thing again? I ain't never gonna be nothing.
Bruh, I was going through my stuff the other day and it just really stood out. I'm sorry. So as Mike takes a break, I'm gonna go into this leadership portion. For those of you who are watching and listening, and you are in a position of authority, meaning you're a supervisor, a manager, a boss, leader, whatever, you got people underneath you. Why is it so important to have a vision? What purpose does it serve? Why aren't organizations really pushing employees and staff members to know and understand what their vision is? This very important piece of information for a leader and their organization is arguably the cornerstone of any business or organization. This should be the genesis of all leadership, because unfortunately, it isn't. Now, when you don't have a belief or a set of ideas that are used as a guidepost for what you do, then you're destined to fail. Anytime you take on a position of authority, regardless if you are elected or just a volunteer, you must have a vision. And you must have it for how you want the state of the organization to be or team to look like over a period of time. Having a vision is grossly critical and definitely mandatory for your success. In the Bible, Proverbs chapter 29, verse 18 says that where there is no vision, the people perish. Now, I know that everyone reading or watching this or listening may not even be a believer, but there's something to be said about the importance of having a vision as a leader. A vision is put in place as a long-term target for where you want to see your organization. Whatever it is you're doing, no matter how difficult the decision, you should always look at your answer to see if it's in line with the vision. Is my decision helping us to achieve my vision, or is it leading us away from it? The vision of a leader should be what we call the North Star, okay? In which all labor from employees, staff, and even the leaders themselves should be attributing their work towards. It should serve as the organization's beacon of light in which everyone should seek and be reminded of often. Visions give an organization purpose and meaning, and they help to keep the leader's leadership intact. It also aids the employees in their daily tasks and decisions when performing their jobs. Strategic goals, plans, and projects should all be supportive and equally aligned with the vision.
Well,
that is my business or leadership insight and tip for the day. Fellas, any comments on that?
No, you said it all.
Said it all? Yeah, that vision is hurting a lot of people right now. I think
Sure
a
is.
lot of people need to revamp because we're living in a new normal now.
And vision killing people out here, boy. Every time I used to make that left, bam, hit the refrigerator. No vision. Ain't had no vision.
Well, I look at it from what you said, Chad, from a sports perspective. Since of course I'm a longtime coach, I look at it from a sports perspective, how what you're talking about, because as a coach, we have to have a vision for our ball team, whether it's football, basketball, soccer, whatever the case may be. We must have a vision of what our team should look like. We should have a vision and a goal and things that we set as coaches, what we set for our team.
That's right.
And each individual player, actually. And I'm a basketball coach, so, you know, my field is small. I have 12 to 15 kids, and I can see from each one of those kids what they need to work on. And I can give them my vision of, okay, little Johnny or little Susie, this is my vision for you, and this is what you should look like, and this is the thing that you need to work on.
Why I can't be little Keisha?
Well, little Keisha. Little Keisha's fine.
Or look, Keisha.
But anyway.
Or little Omar.
Yeah, little Omar. Okay, that's fine. Little Nut.
Lamar.
Boy, y'all silly.
Go ahead.
But yeah, man, we have to have, I mean, you know, from that aspect, as coaches, we have to have a vision of what we want to be as a team and as individual players. So that vision thinking is not only related to business, it can be sports or just your daily life.
That's true.
I mean, you know, the vision you have for your daily life. So, I mean, you know,
Really,
that's a great word.
Really? Daily life? The vision? Well, y'all hit me hard in that vision thing today, baby, but it's all right.
Well, that's it for me, guys. If you would like any leadership development training, team building coaching, or diversity training, please don't hesitate to contact me, 678-571-2773, or at chad@chadbaumgartner.co. Remember, great leadership equals great success. How are you leading? And now, it's a boomerang. We're coming right back around to Mike for this Black History today. Mike, drop some pearls on us, baby.
All right, check it out.
Check it.
In the world of aviation, there is a great debate on who was the first to actually do the airplane.
What you mean, do the airplane? Build it?
Buy the airplane, build the airplane.
Okay.
Carolina would say that it's the Wright brothers at Kitty Hawk.
Kitty Hawk.
But a man by the name of Lonnie Carmen, Columbus, Ohio. He was a pioneering aviator. He's the first Black African American to fly in an aircraft he built from scratch himself.
He built it?
He built it. He was a junk man. People used to bring him different, you know, parts and things like that. He'd clean them up and sell them, you know, refurbish them. His efforts to build an airplane started around a motorcycle engine that he found. He never had training or anything in the aviation field. He was just gifted.
Wow.
We some bad people, boy.
And boy, I tell you what.
Because
Wow.
of his vision,
Mm-hmm.
he was able to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
He didn't have blueprints or anything.
No YouTube video, none of that.
No, nothing. Nothing. And the Port Columbus Authority, which is the airport, denied him a job.
Of course.
Denied him a job, said he couldn't work there.
Shocker.
So those same people in 2004, they recognized him on the 75th anniversary of the airport itself. So now it's a toss-up, like I said, between Ohio and Carolina with the Wright brothers. Then you got Mr. Corman. But I think it's awesome, man.
That's wow.
His granddaughter speaks on behalf of him now. You know, he's passed away, but he took scraps and built an airplane and flew it.
I would like to see a documentary on him. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I would really like somebody to do their research and do a documentary on that. That's wow.
Just some things, you know, we hear so much about Kitty Hawk and the Wright brothers, and we've been hearing that all our years in school.
Yeah.
That's true.
Never heard of Lonnie Carmen ever.
We are phenomenal people, boy. I tell you what.
Wow.
Lonnie
now, Mike,
Carmen.
when you did your research on him, did they happen to have a picture of his airplane that he built?
Yeah. Actually, in the museum in Columbus, Ohio, they have a picture of him standing beside his plane, and his plane looked really better than the Wright brothers.
Wow. Now what years was this, Mike? What year did this
was
take
1926.
place? 1926.
When he flew. But they're saying that he actually built the plane before the Wright brothers.
Okay.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
But he doesn't get any credit for that. Like I say, nobody's ever heard of him.
But you know what? And I'm not trying to take the shine off of this brother, but it's the same issue when the Civil War broke out or the Revolutionary War broke out, when they were saying Paul Revere was riding through the city saying the British are coming. Did y'all know that a black man was doing the same thing?
Yeah, but he was with the Beastie Boys.
Do-do-do. Wow.
But yeah, Chad, I heard that as well.
Yeah, I can't remember his name. I know it wasn't Crispus Atkiss, but I just can't remember the brother's name who was doing the same thing as Paul Revere, warning everybody, but he never gets any shine for his accomplishment.
DMX.
But, the brother that built the plane again, Mike, what was his name?
Lonnie, Lonnie, Carmen, Carmon. From
Lonnie
Columbus,
Carmen.
Ohio.
And that's big, man.
Never built an airplane in his life. Found a motorcycle engine and built a plane around it.
Oh.
Every week, Mike, you bring something to us that, man, I'm telling you.
Woo. Man, I mean, it's just, once again, black excellence, man.
Make you stand a little taller, don't it?
Trying to tell you, man.
Man, I really believe with all my heart, man, if we as kids was learning this as we grew up,
we'd be different people.
We'd be a whole different set of people. Yeah, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah. You know, it's like when I was doing my research on them, you know, I was thinking there's something in each of us that we do that we don't understand how we know how to do what we do. Mm-hmm. We just do it. You know what I'm saying? No matter what that may be. That's how you know, and I'm not trying to get too biblical, but that's how you know when God has put something into you. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That's your calling. Like, I don't understand how I make the music I do. You know what I'm saying? What comes so natural to me is complicated for other people. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And that's just like Pete with your coaching. I've seen you coach. And I've seen you do things and make those children do things that they didn't think they could do. You make kids and stuff their parents can't even make them do. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel you.
And, you know, and Chad, you as well, man. When you're going back and you're teaching people how to deal with other people in the industry, in the workforce, that's your gift, bro. That's your gift. You don't know why. I never forget something you told me, Chad, on the phone a long time ago. Your mentor told you, you got a book in you. Ain't that what you told me? I said, Chad, you got a book in you.
He did. I thought he was crazy.
See what I mean? But yeah, man, it's that intuitive knowledge, man. That's knowledge you're born with. Nobody can explain it.
Wow. Well, Mike, as always, like I said, you always give us something to make us stand a little taller.
Yes, sir.
Walk a little stronger, and I appreciate that, man. Lonnie Carmen. Oh, I really hope they do a documentary, man. I want to really follow up on this, brother. But thank you, man, for that. For those pearls of Black history. And okay, so now we're moving into the "You Know How We Do" segment of the show, where you get news about us in the entertainment industry as well as Black achievements overall. So with that, let's go ahead and pop on up into it. Now, for the entertainment, I'm just gonna jump into the entertainment side. Okay?
I got a feeling.
No, it's not R. Kelly.
No, I got somebody else.
Empire actor Brashear Gray, arrested for allegedly abusing his wife, faces domestic violence charges. That's the little young rapper on Empire, the little baby, the son, the baby boy. Him.
I've never watched Empire, so
I haven't either.
Okay. Oh well. All right. Hopefully, some listeners out there. And
I know that's right. I can't watch anything that's gonna make my people look like that.
Terrible.
There's a bizarre and troubling story surfacing out in Arizona surrounding a former Empire actor. Brashear Gray, best known for playing Hakeem Lyon on the canceled Fox show, has been arrested on domestic violence charges after a standoff with local SWAT team. SWAT team now.
SWAT team?
SWAT team. They brought the team in for domestic violence.
Oh, wow.
Goodyear, Arizona police report that they arrested Gray in connection with an alleged domestic violence incident involving his spouse. Brashear Gray, best known for playing Hakeem Lyon, his wife flagged down a citizen at a local gas station and told them she's being assaulted at home for several hours by her husband, whom she identified, of course, as Brashear Gray. So when the police arrived, the victim, whose identity has not yet been revealed, had numerous visible injuries on her body and said she was strangled by the defendant until she temporarily lost consciousness.
Oh, wow.
The woman was treated and released with non-life-threatening injuries. Her current status is unknown. Meanwhile, authorities tried to contact Gray at his home, but he refused to come out and cooperate. So that's when the police said they enlisted the SWAT team and the crisis negotiators. Reports, and this report is from Your Valley, Arizona. I guess some local TV or paper out in Arizona. The standoff reportedly continued until 7 a.m. the next day when Gray finally surrendered without incident. He's now facing charges of aggravated assault, and disorderly conduct. As previously reported, the actor was arrested last year on suspicion of driving without a license or insurance. So the young man who has possibly still a promising acting career is definitely getting off to a rocky start.
Empire is not having a good last couple years.
Empire is canceled.
Maybe that's why he was upset.
Yeah.
Between him and Jesse, Empire never be.
Well, like Pete says, some things you got to shake it off.
I'm telling you, man. I mean, my goodness. Bro,
now you sitting up there looking. Come on, man.
What's the little meme of the preacher? Why? Come on, brother. Come on, young brother.
Anytime, and I want to talk to listeners.
Got to be better.
Man. Anytime you feel like you can't handle your spouse, or you feel like y'all have elevated to the point where you can't deal, it's so much better to just walk away.
Just walk away. Go take a drive. Go take a walk.
That's it. Just walk away.
Get a divorce.
It's not worth.
Whatever worked for you. I mean, you know what I'm saying, man. Just walk away, brothers, please.
It's not worth it, man.
It's
not worth. It's not worth it, man. It's not worth it at all.
It is not.
And you sitting up in there, and the same when you done jumped on, you calling for somebody to bail you out.
I'm sure he did, and I mean, if he's that bold with it, I'm sure that's not the first time.
Yeah.
So I mean, you know,
it's the time he got caught.
Yeah, I mean, if you to the point where you choking folk out, they losing consciousness.
Right.
Yeah, brother, you got a problem.
And I'm gonna say something since we on that topic. I'm gonna say this to the listeners. If you, male or female, are in a domestic violence situation, please get out of it. Because if a person does it to you once, they will do it to you twice.
And it ain't gonna get no better.
That is physically, emotionally, mentally, what have you. Love yourself first.
I know that's right.
Nobody can love you better than you.
Nobody.
That's real
Nobody.
Tell him, Keith. Like Pete said, Keef.
Keith.
All right, guys. Now we're gonna move into the achievement section. I love this section right here. I love doing it. Yes, sir. A sister by the name of Arlan Hamilton, Arlan, Arlan Hamilton. She's the founder of Backstage Capital. Okay. Hamilton, the founder and CEO of Backstage Capital, who is best known for investing in tech founders from underrepresented communities, established a $36 million fund exclusively for Black female founders.
Wow.
Arlan Hamilton's pinned tweet tells you almost everything you need to know about the entrepreneur. And it reads, I quote, 4 years ago, I was on food stamps. Today, I have built a venture capital fund from the ground up and have invested in 100 startup companies led by women, people of color, and the LGBTQ founders, end quote. After being frustrated that white men racked up 90% of startup funding, Hamilton founded Backstage Capital to help tech and innovators from underrepresented communities access funds. Now, this year, Hamilton established a $36 million fund to exclusively invest in Black female founders. The fund will be divvied up $1 million at a time. And while some folks may want to call it a diversity fund, Hamilton made it clear in a tweet what she's calling it. She said, I'm calling it an It's About Damn Time fund.
There it is. There it is.
ADT fund.
Investing in us, people of color, LGBT people, and women is good business and good sense. Mm-hmm. And you are foolish if you think otherwise. So big to Arlan Hamilton, founder of Backstage Capital. Getting that money for Black founding for Black women who are founders of their companies. I like that.
That's beautiful, man.
That's what's up. I ain't mad at her. About damn time.
Now here,
ADT, baby.
You know what I'm saying? I'm about to tattoo that on my back. You feel me? For about damn time.
Oh, I don't know if y'all heard about this. This was kind of big yesterday. It was kind of trending too. But in a historic move, Asheville, as in North Carolina,
oh man,
approves reparations for Black residents. Y'all hear about that?
Yes, sir.
In an extraordinary move, the city council has apologized for the city's historic role in slavery, discrimination, and denial of basic liberties to Black residents, and voted to provide reparations to them and their descendants. The 7-0 vote came the night of July 14th, a couple days ago.
Mm-hmm.
That's a couple days ago.
Hundreds of years of Black blood spilled that basically fills the cup we drink from today, end quote, said Councilman Keith Young, one of 2 African-American members of the body and measure's chief proponent. It is simply not enough to remove statues. Black people in this country are dealing with issues that are systemic in nature.
Mm-hmm.
The unanimously passed resolution does not mandate direct payments. Instead, it will make investments in areas where Black residents face disparities. The resulting budgetary and programmatic priorities may include, but not be limited to, increasing minority home ownership and access to other affordable housing, increasing minority business ownership and career opportunities, strategies to grow equity and generational wealth. That's big.
Wow.
Closing the gaps in healthcare, education, employment, and pay, and neighborhood safety and fairness within criminal justice. And this is what this came from the resolution that they that they put together. This is just a snippet of the resolution that they put together. So now the resolution calls on the city to create the Community Reparations Commission, inviting community groups and other local governments to join. It will be the commission's job, to make concrete recommendations for programs and resources to be used. Now, Councilwoman Shanika Smith, who is Black, obviously, said the council has gotten emails from those asking, well, why should we pay for what happened during slavery? And so this is what Ms. Smith says. Slavery is this institution that serves as the starting point for the building of the strong economic floor for white America, while attempting to keep Blacks subordinate forever to its progress. That's a mouthful.
Those are facts.
Yeah. So now Councilman Vijay Kapoor, who is often split between Young and Smith, there's two other council members on the board, on police and budget issues, said he supported the measure for moral reasons. But he said skeptics could look to the practical reason. Data showing large disparities between African Americans and other Asheville residents. And Kapoor said, we don't want to be held back by these gaps. We want everyone to be successful. Now, the council allowed an hour of public comment on the measure, many of who were not able to speak before the vote, and they had to wait another hour before they can get to the comment period, pushing the meeting obviously late into the night. But overall, most people were in support. Now, a few callers spoke against reparations, one linking it to a Venezuelan government plot, and others saying Black Lives Matter was Marxist. Whatever. So here's an interesting quote from a white man who spoke at the meeting that night. His name is Eddie from West Asheville. He said, I love this. My white privilege is that I grew up on a farm, we milked cows, and we baled hay. That was my white privilege, said a man identifying himself again as Eddie. But I lied. That's not the quote I like. The quote I like is on down, and I'm going to get to it. I got ahead of myself. David Greenson said white people like him needed Black people to get reparations because, here's the quote, because our souls are in jeopardy. See, he knows it's important to do right by us. He knows it's important. He said our souls are in jeopardy. Check this out.
I know that's right.
He said, I am responsible for the beating of Johnny Rush in August of 2017. And now he's referencing the infamous beating of an unarmed Black man in Asheville by a police officer. He said, and I quote, I may not have hit him, tased him, or choked him, but I paid the man who did.
Ooh.
Talking about the police officer. Because, we pay taxes that pay the police salary. So he said, even though I didn't do it personally, I paid the man that did it.
I'm going to tell you how much we are despised as a people by other cultures. Mind you that they take everything from us. They've taken whether it's music, scientific acknowledgement, I mean, science, everything that we've done as a people, and pretty much, taking it as their own. That every race of people that has been marginalized has received reparations, but Black people.
Yeah.
Whether it's the Native Americans, whether it was Asians, whether it was the Irish, everybody,
Jews,
Jewish community has received reparations, but the people who built this country.
Yeah.
There is no American economic base without slavery. None.
That's true.
None without slavery. Slavery was the backbone of this country's economy for 400 plus years.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's real simple, but the people and descendants of the people that built this country on their blood, sweat, and tears, not because they wanted to,
They had no
because
choice.
because they didn't have a choice and they were forced. That those people cannot get reparations. It boggles my mind. It boggles my mind that we are so despised as a people, even though they've taken everything from us as a people. Like I said, whether it's science, music, math, whatever it is. There is no culture in the United States without us. Period. Period. I mean, who I think it was Shannon Sharp or somebody said something. I think it was Shannon Sharp said, everybody wants to be black until it's time to be black.
That's right. Yeah. That's right.
I think I heard him say that the other day on his show. It just boggles my mind that the people that built this country cannot get reparations from the country that they built economically. It boggles my mind. It's crazy. And I applaud Asheville for looking at it and the things that they're doing, and that's cool and that's great and that's wonderful. But at some point, there has to be an economic component to that. There has to be checks cut.
Yeah.
In addition to right,
all the things that you're doing, which are fantastic. I'm glad that Asheville, looked at it and said, okay, we owe black people something in this community. And that's great. And you want to help businesses or whatever this, that, and the third. But I can't build a business like we were talking earlier without capital.
Yeah, if I have no money.
If I have no capital, you can't help me build my business without capital.
Yeah, so that's kind of like a catch-22 on that one.
Exactly. It's like, okay, we're going to help you grow your business. Well, I don't have the capital to grow a business. Oh, man, we hate that.
That's just
you know what I'm saying?
That's just like somebody saying, you go get an ID, but they're saying you need an ID to get an ID. That's why I needed the ID.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You want to get a job.
Yeah.
You ain't got no experience. Well, that's why I'm trying to get a job so I can get experience.
Or credit.
Yeah.
You ain't got no credit, but I need credit
to make
to get credit. Okay. All right then. But I mean, it makes me sad that our people cannot get the reparations the reparations that we deserve when we see every other nationality, every other group of people that has been wronged by this country get their piece of the pie, but we can't.
In advance.
Well, one thing, it kind of bothers me. I don't want to get too deep into it, but
yeah,
there's one particular group of people that got money from us. I'm still trying to understand why, and that's the Jews, because the Holocaust happened in Germany, right?
That's what they say.
Yeah.
So why is the U.S. government giving the Jews 12 million or 12 billion or how many millions and millions of dollars? I still don't understand that. We're paying them for something that, reparating them for something that happened halfway across the world. But I digress. But that was just the one group that boggled my mind. But
okay, Nick Cannon, you'll be apologizing on Twitter. You'll be apologizing on
Twitter.
Next
podcast will be a solo podcast. Listen, guys, I didn't mean when I.
I'm just trying to understand, but that's neither here nor there. To your point, yes, Asheville, that's a great start in the right direction, but I'm pretty sure they know that there's a long road ahead in order to, make this right by the black population. There's a lot of things that need to put in place. But like I had a conversation with my wife, and I wonder if the whites will come back and say, or try to sue, saying that this is discrimination.
Of course. Of course. But okay. We know how that goes.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But all right, fellas. Well, I appreciate y'all chiming in on the entertainment piece. We're gonna go ahead and wrap up this segment with a Bible thought or verse for the week, and I'm coming from Proverbs chapter 4.
Well, you love them Proverbs, don't you?
Verse 1. I love them, man. I read them all the time. It's so much wisdom in them Proverbs, man.
That's why they call them Proverbs.
Is that why they call them Proverbs?
Yeah, that's what Proverbs means.
Let's see, I didn't know that.
See what I'm saying?
I didn't know that. But Proverbs chapter 4, verses 1 and 2, it says, "My children, listen when your father corrects you.
Woo!
Pay attention and learn good judgment.
Say that.
For I am giving you good guidance. Don't turn away from my instructions, for I too was once my father's son, tenderly loved as my mother's only child." Take that and go in peace. All right. That's it for our show this week, guys. Thanks for tuning in to Ourvoice 360. Again, our way, our perspectives. All right. Be blessed, be safe, and we out.
Peace.
If you enjoyed this podcast, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel so you can be notified when a new show drops. Please rate and review this podcast and share it with your friends. Also, if you'd like to advertise or become a sponsor, please send an email to ourvoice360@gmail.com with your inquiry. We'll connect with you as soon as possible in hopes of creating a great partnership. And as always, thank you for tuning in to Ourvoice 360. Our perspectives, our way, keeping you in the know while you're on the go. See you next week.